Welcome YouTube. Um, so this is in the process of doing readings for the different signs, and for wanted to come on and do a reading for the masses, basically. So we're gonna see what happens with that. Um, I'm never really in charge. If you've been here before. So, sorry, just got a text on the iPad. So anyway, if you've been here before, welcome back, welcome everybody. If you like what you're watching, click like, subscribe, share, etc., etc. So we're gonna see what is happening on the planet and whatever kind of messages are going to come through, right? Because I never really know what's going to happen. I just kind of show up. It's like when I'm getting ready to do a painting, right? I start seeing the colors and I show up to the canvas and I start putting those colors on, and then whatever it's going to be is what it's going to be. And I'm not really ever sure until it's actually done. So that's the way that I read. I never know what's going to be coming out of my face because mostly I channel information, and so we'll see. Spirit is talking about there are a lot of big changes that are happening in history, and they're talking about how there is a big kind of revolution happening. They are talking about an explosion, but we think that it is we think that the explosion is not necessarily a literal term, although we're not going to say that that's not going to happen, especially because of the wars that are in the process of happening right now. However, we really think that the explosions are a lot of disruptions in just individual personalities. A lot of people have been, the way that we want to call it is, a lot of people have been in the closet, and we're not talking so much about being gay and coming out, but we are talking about people have been hiding who they are as individuals. And so a lot of people are throwing the masks off, right? And they really want to throw down the gauntlets. There's a lot of throwing energy going on around here for some reason or another. And this could very well be because of the Pluto type energy, the Saturn type energy that is going on, where that's like stationed in your chart, but also, just, the North Node is in Aries right now, and so that is all about people heading to where they want to be. Aries energy is very kinetic. They Aries energy are about like leaders and things like that, and so people wanted to be more in control, especially because Venus is the ruling planet of Venus is the ruling planet of not Venus, sorry. Mars is a ruling planet of Aries, and the sun is being conjunct with Mars these days, or very, very close to it. And so there's a lot of it's a lot of like gasoline on the fire. So and depending upon where that is in your chart, it's going to make a big deal out of things. And I'm not really what I would refer to as an astrologer. But I have been following astrology lately, so I know that that's a thing going on. But we think that this is a lot related to, going into the age of Aquarius kind of a thing. But there's a lot of people out there who are also doing what we would call like raising their vibration, right? So when people start raising their vibration, it's being an interesting, it's really being an interesting change watching these things happen. Um, because you would think that people raising their vibration um, is something that happens neatly, right? But it doesn't. Not always, right? Because when you are raising your vibration, right, you can think of it like boiling water, right? And so this is the way I think of it anyway. Um, and this is the analogy that Spirit has shown me. So this is what we're talking about. So, like the whole planet, right? Consider the whole planet the pot of water, right? And as one person is raising their vibration, right? Spiritual energy is fire, right? And so you have this one person, and this one person is doing the work that they need to do, and they can be very aggressive in how they are raising their vibration. They're doing a lot of therapy. They're doing a lot of they're doing a lot of like yoga. They're doing a lot of like Reiki on themselves. They're doing a lot of meditation. They're doing a lot of, so they're very intent on kind of clearing traumas from the past. And so, but you see, this is not just one person, right? And this is not new, right? People have been doing this since, really since the dawn of time, really. It's like, do we think that meditation is something that's new? Do we think that being connected to spirits is new? No, it's not, right? However, it is becoming more of a thing, shall we say, right? Um, and so what happens when water boils, right? It's like you have this molecule of water here, right? And it starts like heating up, right? Spiritual energy is fire. So this molecule over here is starting to heat up, and it's affecting the molecule next to it, right? So if one person is raising their vibration, right, all of the people in their social circle are going to be affected by that, right? And not everybody wants to be raising their vibration, right? But like, if I'm here and I'm raising my vibration, it's going to affect people who are around me, because my energy is getting bigger. My aura is getting bigger. And just because you don't see my aura, just because you don't see my energy, doesn't mean you're not going to be affected by it. Right? So whatever energy you're putting out there, it's affecting the person who is next to you. And you don't even have to be you don't have to even be in the same room, right? I live in an apartment building, and there are people who are right next door. There are people who are downstairs. There are people who are behind me, people who are across the street. When I allow my energy to be big, right? If I order food, like from whatever restaurant down the street, I can feel when they left the store. Right? when they left the pizza shop, when they left the Chinese place, when they left wherever it is that I'm ordering things from, right? Like I can feel that thing coming. So how far do you think my energy is extending when I am making, I make prayers for the world, as I call it. So I'm sending my energy out all over the planet, right? Um, Sending out light all over the planet. And how many other people are doing this, right? Like a lot. So I tell people that I am sending out healing vibration to the planet, and whoever is available for that, whoever is open to receiving that, is going to receive the blessings that come with that. So that could be people here, there, right? I'm in Massachusetts, so it could be affecting people who are in China for all I know. You know, it could be affecting people who are in Russia for all I know. I don't have any idea who it is. I just so that I visualize the whole globe. I just send energy out, loving, healing, positive, not for a specific thing, right? Maybe everybody received the love that they require. Maybe everybody received the abundance that they require, right? Like general sort of themes like that, right? So I'm not talking about a particular god or particular goddess, right? It's like, you know, not everybody is carrying the same religious context, right? But um, somebody's calling, hang that up. So I don't know what that's doing. Anyway, yeah, so there are a lot of people who are doing this, and so that's going to affect a lot of people around the globe, right? And so how many people are doing this? A lot of people are doing this, right? So maybe not everybody's praying for the whole planet. However, this person in this house is raising their vibration. It's going to affect the people next door, right? How many people are in this neighborhood do you think are meditating, right? Probably like more than just me. So it's going to start affecting, it's going to start affecting, it's going to start affecting, right? So more water boiling, more water boiling, more water boiling, right? But there are some people, it's like I tell people, my clients that I do readings for, right? It's like if I'm raising my vibration, there are other people who they don't want to raise their vibration. They want to stay where they are. They want to stay stuck. But they want to stay in their trauma. There are you wouldn't believe how many people identify themselves by their trauma, right? And if they have to give up their trauma, then they have to give up their narrative, right? They have to change who they are. They have to look into ways of like getting better, right? And they can no longer be the victim, right? And that's how they have lived their whole life. So these people may be in their 20s, they may be in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, right? And so they're being asked to change who they are. They're being asked to change their story. And especially, what is happening in the cosmos, right? What's happening in the skies astrologically, right? The planets are aligning, so this energy is being sent out universally. So it's not just that there are people who are praying in there. It's not just that people are doing this thing, right? It's like it's what's happening in the universe, right? The planets are creating this whole thing. So people are either going to give up their trauma, they're going to heal. And I will say this, right? Death is a healing, right? It just is. May not be a popular opinion, but it is what it is, right? Um, so there's a lot of, well, I don't even want to say there's a lot of karma that's happening, because um, some people tend to look at karma as if it is uh, as it's just about negative things that are happening, right? But karma happens all the time, right? It's like karma doesn't have, it's not a thought process about like, oh, this person is going to receive positive karma, this person's going to receive negative karma. You can change your karma just by changing your thought process, right? Um, if you've been out there creating like a lot of like drama and chaos and like negative energy, right? And then you have a spiritual awakening, right? Of some sort, something happens to you, and or something happens around you, with you, around you, somebody else in your life, right? And you decide that you're going to change your behavior, right? That's going to change your karma immediately, right? And you're going to start like putting out more positive things. You're going to start getting more blessings, right? That's how this works. So um, so there are a lot of people who are trying to rebel, um, because they don't want to go through the changes that the universe is asking them to go through. Uh, so Spirit is saying that it's really important that certain people, certain countries mind their own business, right? Because like the United States, right? It's like they want to get involved in other people's business and stuff like that all the time. And, it's like, and this is something that can bring about like World War III, right? That there's a lot of conversation going on about that, right? It's like, I'm not saying that the United States is going to cause World War III, right? Because it's not just like one country, but it's like, if it's like if two people are having an argument, right? That is between those two people, right? So let it be between those two people, right? It'll work itself out. There, either one person is gonna blow the other one up and wipe them off the map, or something, whatever. Right? Each of those, like these two people, have their own karma, and they're gonna get the karma that they have been putting out, and it's gonna be the same thing with whatever country, right? And I understand this is not a popular, uh, it's not a popular opinion, but this is what I'm being shown. This is the message, right? So if you have two countries, they need to work out their own problems, right? And if somebody is sitting there and they are being a victim, right, then you might have to look at, well, what happened with those people, right? Why are they in the position that they're in? What kind of karma do those people have? What did they do? What did they do in their past lives that they have this thing that it was created for them? Because there are no mistakes, right? And we understand that it's sad, right? And we're not saying not to defend people and whatever. Some people need a leg up, right? But if there's a war going on, right, that doesn't mean giving people more guns, right? That is not helping anybody, right? It's just not. If somebody requires like food, or they require hospitalization, or they require, things of that nature, if they require like love, right, then like we can do that, right? Giving people guns, causing more like violence, that's just going to create more violence. It's going to create more negative energy out there. So if there's a way to have things like stop, that's like one thing, right? But blowing things up is not the answer. It's just not. And I'm not a hippie, but I was born in the 60s. So, who knows? So, anyway, let's see what else is going to go on here. What kind of messages does Spirit have for us? If there's like something, how did that happen? Oh, just a couple of cards that are backwards. Okay. Let's see what kind of messages Spirit has for us other than this. I'm not in charge. Okay. I never know what's going to come out of my face. I just talk about whatever Spirit wants to talk about. And those are the messages that have come through. So that's what we're talking about. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just want to make sure they're all going the right way. All right. They got mixed up, so. You want to look at what's happening like in the Middle East with like with Israel and the Palestinians. It seems to be the topic in the air. Okay. I guess that's what we're going to look at. Pick a pile, 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1. Okay. Okay. So, first card that we have is death. It's like funny, not funny. So, death is related to Scorpio. It's Pluto, right? So we are in Scorpio time period. We are talking about how there's a lot of like transformation that is trying to happen here, right? So, like, in both places, right? So we are talking about the Palestinians going through their transformation, and we are talking about how Israel is trying to go through its transformation as well, right? So this is telling me that and I just want to say this, right? That I am not a politician, right? I am not about taking sides of anybody. I deliver the messages that I get. And whether that is accurate or inaccurate, I don't know. I don't care. Well, I do, but it's like I just deliver the messages that Spirit tells me, right? So what I'm being shown here is that both of these places are trying to go through their own changes. And Really, what I am being shown is that these two places, Israel and Palestine, they are meant to be one place. They are trying to stay separate. They're trying to they're both trying to fight for independence, and separateness is really what I'm being like shown here, right? And that is not really what is supposed to be going on here. What is supposed to be going on here is that this is one land, and like altogether it's one land, and it's meant to be one country, right? And there's something that goes on about these places where they are, I don't know, I want to call it, they're of the same neighborhood. They have the same kinds of, I don't know, I want to call it, they have the same kind of like genetic background. So I don't know if the Palestinians were part of like Israel before, or I don't know if like Israel was part of like the Palestinians before. I don't know, but they feel like they have a lot of the same kind of ethnic background somehow or another. And I don't know what that means, but that's just what I'm being shown. Right. Next card up, Three of Pentacles. So this is a card about negotiations, right? So there's going to be a lot of changes that are happening with this whole place connected to negotiations. And I will say this, that Israel may think that they are going to win, but I don't think that they are. And winning is going to look different than what winning is going to look different than what you might expect winning to look like. Okay, because this is going to be about negotiations, right? And so the Three of Pentacles is a card that has to do with people working together, right? They're all under this like same symbol. So like I said, right, there is something about these people that is similar, right? So whatever that is going to look like. And I also feel like there's going to be some sort of change in whoever it is that is ruling Palestine, right? So I don't know if Hamas is ruling Palestine or what that is. I think that Hamas is, because like I said, I'm not a politician. I don't really follow these things, but this is what I'm being shown, so this is what I'm talking about, right? So I think there's going to be somebody or a group of somebodies that takes over Palestine, so that and I don't think that this is necessarily people from another country, right? It may very well be somebody from another country, but I don't know. I just know that I see whoever it is that is in charge of Palestine, that leadership is going to change. And when that leadership changes, it is going to change the lay of the land. So I think that when that happens, that there will be a different kind of negotiation that is taking place. Emperor, right? People in charge. Money, finances, things like that, right? So one leader one leader gaining more resources, right? And it's going to have something to do with some new kind of resource that is happening here. And I think that part of this is some sort of resource that is on the Palestinian land. So this battle may have to do with something that has to do with, because it talks about like money, right? But I don't think it's just about money. Um, it will have to do with resources, right? Whether, like, I don't know if there's like oil in Palestine, right? I just know that whatever it is, there's going to be something that comes up connected to whatever the resources are. And I think that whoever it is that's going to end up being in charge of Palestine is going to have a, like, aces are new beginnings, right? So I think that whoever it is that is coming in here, they're going to have new kind, whoever it is that's coming in and taking the place in Palestine, they're going to have other kinds of resources. They're going to have newer kinds of resources. And so whatever that means. So King of Wands, right, which is fire. It's like Leo, Aries, like Sag, something like that. So I think that there is going to be some kind. All right, so this may have to do with somebody from another country, right? Because it's looking like this. So there's going to be some country of power or some people in power who are offering resources to whoever it is that's in Palestine, right? And so it's going to allow them to be more in charge. Kings are about power. And this is ruled by Aries, right? And this is like his kind of power, right? And the Knight of Wands has his staff. That's like it's a different kind of power. Both are ruled by fire, right? Because this is ruled by Aries, this is ruled by Leo. Aries is all about like leadership, right? They're all about like we want to be in charge. Right? Leo, on the other hand, is the sun. So they are people who can be charismatic, right? They are people, everything revolves around them, right? So they can be charismatic. They have an ability to, like talk well, right? And speaking somehow or another is going to be like their forte. Part of me feels like there can be some sort of negotiation that is trying to happen, and those negotiations can affect what it is that's like happening. Let me see here. See, because there's a lot of creative energy that is trying to happen here, right? The Chariot card also has to do with like travel. So it's all about like, so this may very well have to do with like oil, gasoline, things like that, because it would have to do with, something about like the resources that are connected with like travel. So with like cars, with planes, things like that, right? And there may very well be negotiations that allow people to actually like move, because the Chariot card is connected to travel, movement, things like that. So Four of Cups shows up here, And it's about people not really wanting what it is that's offered. So I think that somehow or another, the emperor is connected to Israel, actually. So there are things that are being offered to Israel, and they don't want what it is that's being offered to them. So, so I think that this is Israel making offers to. It could very well be making offers to like Palestine, or making offers to somebody else for help, right? If Israel is making offers of resources to somebody else in order to get help from them, right? Because I don't think the King of Wands is Palestine. But if there's going to be a negotiation, Israel is not really going to get what it is that they're looking for here. So King of Cups is showing up. There's going to be some sort of like benevolence that is going to happen around this area. The Wheel of Fortune, this is what we're talking about, right? Is karma. So the Wheel of Fortune to me is about getting off of the merry-go-round, right? The Wheel of Fortune is saying that there is going to be a lot of karma that is taking place here. And somehow or another, all right, so this is an interesting scenario because Israel has a lot of negative karma, right? I mean, you know, they were nearly wiped out. So that's not good karma to have that happen to them, right? And so, you know, they were nearly wiped out, and now they are trying to, they're trying to wipe out basically like other people. So, you know, this started small, right? Like at the beginning of the planet, right? It started out small, and it is now like escalating to like bigger and bigger things, right? Like so. This is a lot about like kind of getting off of the merry-go-round is what I usually see with the Wheel of Fortune. So whatever it is that Israel is doing, and I'm not saying that they have to, you know, give up and become part of Palestine. That's not what it is that we're saying here. We're saying that that there has to be some other kind of agenda. There has to be something where these people are actually looking to work together to become whole, to become one. Because somehow or another, these two places used to be one. And somehow or another, they got ripped apart. And the universe is trying to bring them back together again to make them whole. So the more they keep trying to be separate, the more one tries to rule over the other one, the more they're trying to battle, the worse it's going to be, and it's not really going to be good for any of them. However, because Israel has their negative karma, the way that they have it, it doesn't look good for them. So, see, sorrow, sorrow, heartache. The Three of Swords is a card that comes up about, it's usually sorrow, but it's sorrow due to lack of communication. It's like the, right, so we have the Death card, right? Doors closing, new doors opening. We have all of this like Pluto energy here, transformation, right? And it's like, it's trying to be more from a creative standpoint, right? There are blessings that are trying to happen around this whole place, right? It's like things are trying to create change, right? For the better, right? But Three of Swords is about sorrow due to lack of communication, heartache, things like that, right? What did we say earlier about people trying to hold on to their victim mentality, right? If you're going to try to hold on to your victim mentality, you're not going to get anywhere, right? Both of you people, right? Palestine, Israel, the more you are trying to hold on to your like victim mentality, that is what is going to keep you a victim, right? You cannot raise your vibration. You cannot be, quote unquote, a winner if you are screaming, look what they did to me, right? Look what you did to them, right? It's not going to end well, right? New offers here, like emotional content, right? So there are negotiations that could be trying to happen from other places. Chariot card is about travel, right? Other places. Usually when I would see from other countries, I would see the World card, right? But this to me feels like there are people here from other countries who are trying to help like negotiation. Whether this is coming from like, you know, United Nations or whoever, right? I don't know who it's coming from. I just know that there are people here who are trying to negotiate, right? And I do think that there are people here who are outside of Palestine who are trying to negotiate with Palestine, right? But I don't think it's like Israel that is trying to do this negotiation with Palestine. I think that there's somebody else here who is offering some kind of like pages are communication, right? And this is communication about emotions, right? And there's some sort of offer, right? There's an emotional offer that is coming here, right? And so there's some sort of negotiation, trying to get people to work together, right? And so we'll see what it is that is happening here, right? So Moon card, things that are hidden, right? People lying, stuff like that, right? So Israel, right? This is what we said, right? Israel, not wanting to accept offers, right? Because of something that is hidden, right? Israel has some sort of hidden agenda going on with them, right? They have some sort of secrets, right? That they don't want to expose, right? However, the Moon card says that whatever it is that's hidden, it is going to be exposed. So whatever it is that whatever it is that they have going on over here, right? It's going to come out. So so I think that it's interesting because I think that Palestinian is like, you know, they just are who they are, right? I think that they're very clear about their agenda. They're, you know, so even though they can be, you know, there's a whole thing that goes on there, I think, about them kind of hiding amongst like civilians and stuff like that, right? But I think that quote unquote message, their agenda, I think that they're clear about their agenda, right? However, I think that whatever it is that's going on with Israel, there's something about them that they are hiding something. So, and they may very well be hiding some kind of like resources or something like that that goes on. So this is interesting because we have the Ace of Pentacles here, right, which we were talking about some kind of like resources coming up here. And this person here, right, King of Cups, is meant to be a benefactor, right? But he's also connected to like the Two of Wands. And so this to me feels like it's somebody who is like playing one side against the other. So he may very well be trying to create resources for both sides, right? But somehow or another, this person is being connected to both Israel and Palestine. So I think that there's some sort of like new resources that have an ability to bring both sides together. And whether or not that happens, is yet to be seen, right? Five of Wands, chaos, right? Talking about the karma and chaos, right? So, I think that this is whoever it is that is in Palestine, right? They have to kind of get off of their merry-go-round too, right? And they have to stop creating like chaos. This is about mixing things up, right? So if we're talking about those people being in and amongst the civilians, right? And so they can be creating their own, war, right? In amongst themselves. So, because the Five of Wands is a card about chaos, right? The Five of Wands is about a lot of irons in the fire. Basically, it's like trying to sort things out, right? So, in order for things to move forward, right? In order for things to get off of the merry-go-round, right? Then there has to be, right? So, Spirit says that it has to be a treaty. Of course, we understand that, right? But this is like the same kind of energy that is related to like clubs and partying and stuff like that, right? It's chaos, right? So this is about sorting things out, like your priorities and stuff like that, right? What is it that is more important here, right? For like both of these people, right? Because ultimately you have these two kings here, right? You have the Emperor card, you have the King of Wands, right? So both of them are about power. Both of them want to be in charge, right? And I don't think Palestinian people, whoever it is that's in charge, I don't think that they're staying in charge. That just doesn't feel like it to me. I channeled this the other day when I was doing readings for Sagittarius. There's a whole lot of information that was coming forward about this, and so I don't think that they are. I don't think that they're staying put. I don't think the Hamas people. I don't think that they're staying put there. I think that there's going to be something about them where they are going to become nullified. I don't have any idea what that means. I just know that they're becoming nullified. So whoever it is that is in charge, I think that that person is going to find themselves like alone. So I don't know if this is going to be the same as like a Bin Laden thing. but truth is going to come out. Again, pages, right, are about communication. There's going to be new ideas, new information that is coming out here. Right, Knight of Cups is about like new emotional things. We're going from the Page of Cups to the Knight of Cups, and then we have the King of Cups over there too. So so I do think that there's going to be something. There's going to be, like, I think that the Knight of Cups, the Page of Cups there, I think this is going to be some kind of messenger. I want to say it's like an emotional kind of like message that is coming out here. And it's going to be something that is going to be, all right, so the way that this makes me feel is that there's going to be some sort of treaty, but it's like the way that I'm being shown here is that there's going to be something that is not or has not been on the treaty before. Again, the Ace of Pentacles, right? Like resources. And so this makes me feel like there's going to be some kind of resource that is being offered really to both Palestine and Israel, that have an ability to bring the two of them together. And I will say this, that this does not feel like it is going to happen. I'm getting July time period. So this may not necessarily happen until July, right? But this is not going to be like a, you know, year upon year upon year upon year kind of like war thing going forward. Because this is nostalgia. You have things that are connected to the past, right? So we have Israel. We have Israel not accepting things, right? And we have Israel having these like things that are hidden, right? Things that they don't want to discuss. Things that they, I want to say things that they did. Things that they did in the past, right? That are going to be coming to light, right? And especially if there was something that they did connected to like children or heritage or things like that, right? Because remember I said that these people have the same sort of like genetic background, right? So I'm wondering if there's something that is connected to I'm wondering if there is something that is connected to, you know, Palestine being like children of like Israel people, right? Or something. But there's something here that is connected to the past and or something connected to nostalgia, things like that. Something that is showing up here is being hidden, that the people of Israel, you know, the government of Israel, like they don't want to come to light. They don't want to acknowledge, they don't want it to be seen, right? But it is something that is going to come out, right? And I don't think that this is so much about, I don't really think that this is so much about, you know, Palestine being like children of Israel, things like that. But there's something here that is connected to the children of Israel, right? Whatever that is all about. And and I'm talking about original Israel, right? I'm not talking about Israel today. I'm talking about when Israel was established and what happened to the children of Israel, right? So there was something that happened with that was a negative experience, right? And I don't know if this is like Israel coming out of Egypt or something like that. I don't know if it's connected to that or what it is, but there is something that is connected to their past that is not being looked at, but it is something that is going to come out, and it's going to create, I want to say it feels like it's something that is going to create a more positive influence, because the King of Swords is here. The King of Swords is, it's more about clarity, right? And he is somebody that is going to become, I want to say he's somebody that's going to become like a negotiator between these two places. And the King of Swords could very well be the new ruler over Israel and Palestine. So it's an option. I don't know who the Queen of Wands is, but she feels to me like she's like somebody who's important. She may very well be connected to the King of Wands, because this is a divine pairing, King of Wands, Queen of Wands, but she's going to be connected to the King of Swords. So whoever these two people are, and the Queen of Wands does not necessarily mean that it's a woman, but it may very well be somebody who is ruled by their emotions. Even if it's a man, it may be somebody who's ruled by their emotions, but it will be these two people who are bringing things to a conclusion somehow or another. So, and it's interesting because the last two cards here are the Ace of Swords and Ten of Pentacles, right? So this is going to be major kinds of resources. We have the Ace of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. So there's going to be new ideas about the resources, and Ten of Pentacles is about legacy. It is about making your mark on the world, right? So whatever it is that is going on with these two people, right, they're going to bring about like new ideas about what to do with like major kinds of resources that are going to be showing up here. And so I think that somehow or another that there's going to be able to be help for really like both of these places, Palestine and Israel. So that's interesting. So whether or not these two places come together as one, and it really feels like it's going to become like something like that. I'm being shown something about like tyrants being removed. And I will say this, that Palestine has its tyrants, but Israel has its own tyrants. And it's like neither one of these people who are in charge, they don't want to listen. They're very headstrong. They want what they want, and they're not listening to anybody else, right? So these two places, these two people, you know, whoever it is that's in charge, these people need to be removed in order for things to be able to move forward. Because whoever it is that's in charge of like Israel, right, it's like they're trying to say that oh, this is for our people, right? It's like, no, this is for you, right? This is this person wanting what they want for themselves, right? And they definitely feel like Aries type like energy, right? Like the Emperor is ruled by Aries, right? And I don't think that they really care about their people. I think they care about what they care about, and it's like themselves, right? They want to be in a position of power. They want to be in the lap of luxury. They want to be like, you know, the head of something. They want to be the one who's like, you know, like the victor, and, you know, like I brought, you know, it's ego. It's all about ego. With whoever this is, it's all about ego. It's like they want to be able to say that they they brought an end to this whole thing, that they were victorious, right? It's not going to happen. Whoever you are in charge of Israel, it's not going to happen. You are not going to get what it is that you're looking for. You're not. So, you can just like give it up. You may as well just like leave now, because it's like you're either going to be killed or you're going to be ousted, one or the other. But you're not staying in charge there. So, whatever it is that's going to happen with that, there are people who are going to be bringing you down. So, I would just say, like, get ready. Yep. That's what we're going to say about that. So, good luck.